People have managed Ashdown Forest for centuries, first as a royal hunting forest and today as a refuge for wildlife and a quiet place for you to enjoy.
For 500 years we had the forest being used mainly for the purpose of deer, and commoners were using the area as well. And the end result of it was the gradual development of heathland, the disappearance of trees.
Heathland was once widespread, but today it's rarer than rainforest. Ashdown now has the largest area of heathland remaining in the southeast of England.
Heathland is recognised as being internationally rare and threatened, and under any kind of biodiversity agreement we have a responsibility to maintain that. We still have over 700 commoners who have registered rights over the forest, but the number of them that practice that now is tiny.
The one commoner who does exercise his rights on the forest in a major way puts out 100 cattle, several hundred sheep onto the forest, so exercising his grazing rights.
Grazing sheep and cattle on the heath is really important, and the thing that it does uniquely, something that we cannot simulate by machinery, is this kind of micromanagement. So it's management on a very small scale, and that gives a diversity, a kind of range of ages and shapes to the vegetation on a tiny scale, which we just can't do any other way. We take over the role of the commoner in conserving the heath. So whereas the commoners would have been cutting bracken to bed their animals, we now cut bracken for pure conservation reasons. The only really effective way we've got of controlling it is to mow it, and we will mow it for twice a year for perhaps 5 or 7 years.
Around here, the biggest threat to heathland as a habitat is from more natural consequences. It's from, ironically enough, trees. The invasion of heathland by particularly birch, but also other species such as oak. And if we don't arrest that growth or spread of trees, we will lose the heathland.
Trees are a big problem, obviously. Birch is massively invasive. It produces billions of seeds every year. They're very light, they're wind blown, they cover the whole of the forest area.
If the seeds settle, for example, on the southern end of the forest, it's quite likely at the moment that any leaf growth is nibbled back by the sheep and the cattle. And that's historically what used to happen, why trees disappeared from the forest, because of the pressure of livestock from commoners. But if that pressure is not big enough, then it's down to us to introduce our own management, and that's inevitably mechanical. It's chainsaws, and this of course is very labour intensive. It's noisy. We would love to be able to do it with volunteers, with clippers and shears, but the scale of the problem is just much too big.
Ashdown Forest is becoming increasingly important as an amenity, as a public open space. More and more people are recognising the beauty of the forest, the fact that you can come here for free. There are 2,500 hectares of open access land that you can wander over. That is really important.
Looking after the people who enjoy the forest, that means maintaining 50 car parks, keeping them clear of rubbish, maintaining about 80 kilometres of rides, masses of paths, making sure the roads are not overhung with trees. Our main role, I suppose, is trying to get the balance of managing the forest right for both wildlife and people's enjoyment.